In this moment, I'm finding a very almost kind of sick irony that early promotion for Jodie Whittaker's era as the Doctor had the tagline, "It's about time," because that is exactly what I'm thinking about the trailer for the final appearance of her Doctor. We've now also got a confirmed air date of the 23rd of October, so a little over 2 weeks at time of recording. Like, what? Ah. The fact that they have done virtually no promotion for this, almost no buildup whatsoever, and it's taken this long to even get a trailer, and like it's a minute, it's barely over a minute. This, I don't want to spend too much time going off on this, but like this has been really weird. I already kind of did a short over on the main channel talking about this briefly, but the, if they had not cast a new Doctor and weren't clearly continuing to move forward with the property, I would otherwise have assumed they're going to put the show on hiatus again and they're burying this. But like we know they're not putting the show on hiatus, so this is weird. Anyways, Power of the Doctor, first really proper trailer for it. Other than like the little tiny teases we've had of some things, but all right, let's see.
Hello, Doctor. Welcome to the end of your existence.
Yeah, was gonna have the master. We gotta wrap that out.
A dozen of the world's leading seismologists have gone missing. 15 of the world's most valuable paintings have disappeared.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Can I let you in on a little secret?
A target incursion on Earth is imminent.
Has it never occurred to you that it could be a trap?
Whoa, okay,
This
that
is
was
the
cool.
day you are erased forever. Bit of a conversation stopper.
Huh. So, is that a Death Star?
Dangerous.
It was a really bad idea.
Anything could happen. I don't want
This
to
is a lot.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube
channel. This makes me nervous with how much. First off, they're going effects heavy. They are going for spectacle on this one, which that could work. I mean, it's certainly not an invalid way to do it. Looking back at final appearances for Doctors, RTD definitely tend to favor going big and going for like thrill ride spectacle, not necessarily visual effects spectacle the way this appears to be doing. But that is something that it's an option. It's not usually my preferred way to end these things out, but it certainly can work. And I think I've said before that, especially for a regeneration story, unless you're going to get really distinctly introspective, kind of like how the Doctor Falls does, I don't think it's a bad idea to approach a Doctor's regeneration in a kind of roller coaster ride way. Go out with a bang. That's not the only way to do it, but I think it's a pretty reliable way to do it. That having been said, there is a lot in this. We see Sacha Dhawan's master in several different ways, which really makes me wonder if he's appearing out of time or out of order in this. So like that was kind of intriguing. Then we've got Dalek showing up, and I'm like, oh, okay. I guess Daleks show up in a lot of these things, sometimes even small parts. Like, oh, okay. But then Shad is back, who's a character who is dead and has been dead for a full series. And then like there's the reminder that Ace and Tegan are going to appear. I'm like, okay. And it's kind of setting up this mystery, like all this stuff's missing. Seismologists are missing. Pieces of art are missing. The piece of art thing immediately makes me think of the Zygons again because of what happened with Day of the Doctor. Now, granted, the Zygons themselves weren't the only ones sort of impacted by the, it's art and they come out of it. They kind of did that with Gallifrey as a whole and the Daleks as well. But like, I'm immediately thinking of Day of the Doctor. I'm wondering if any of that is playing in or if this is a completely new thing. We've got like two planets firing weapons at each other. We have what looks like a freaking Death Star. What's the runtime on this is kind of my big question. Because if it's not 2 hours, I don't know how you are going to be able to have this much stuff, these many elements, these many characters crammed into this and have it work. Like, again, to pull an example of, when Tenet regenerated in End of Time, that was a two-parter. And, they pulled in a fair amount of stuff in it, fair number of characters, and stuff to pay up, but like it had the breathing room. It had the breathing room to deal with the Master, bring back Gallifrey, have a little bit more with Donna, do stuff with Wilf, address the Doctor's fears of regeneration. And actually, that's kind of what I'm most concerned about. How much of the Doctor are we going to get in Power of the Doctor? Because, like, she appears in there, but so much of the emphasis is on everything else. And yes, it's big and it's bombastic and it might be an entertaining ride, but, like, I would really like a regeneration story to give me a spotlight on the Doctor, and I'm really worried that's not going to happen. I'm worried that in an effort to cram all this stuff in, she's the one who's going to get the shaft. And she's the last one who should get shafted in something like this. And I'm really worried that, like, I'm going to go in and go, about half these things that are crammed in here didn't need to be here for the story. But they're shoved in and they're eating up time, and we lost time with the Doctor. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. We'll see what the runtime is. But we kind of already had that problem with Legends of the Sea Devils, which was marketed and pegged as a special, but basically had a standard episode runtime. And partly as a result, some of the stuff that could have been really good felt cut off and shortchanged, and the plot jumped around a bit. And that was a pretty straightforward one. I will either feel more nervous or slightly more optimistic once we know how long this is. Because either it's going to be an hour and a half or more, and I'm going to go, okay, maybe this can be pulled off. Or we're going to find out it's like just about an hour. I'm going to go, oh, crap. And I don't know. I don't know what it'll be. But right now, given especially how I felt about a lot of Flux, like with, say, the first episode of that, it was Halloween Apocalypse or whatever it was, and like how much that felt like it was just cramming everything that it could into the space. That's the fears I'm getting off this. But like that was, the start and the setup of stuff that was to come, whether you like Flux or not. It was at least going like, well, here's all this stuff. Now let's go somewhere with it. Whereas this is supposed to be an end. And I didn't see any sign of Joe Martin, which also makes me nervous. Are they going to properly tie off that whole concept? And like, look, I don't like the Timeless Child. I've gone off repeatedly on the fact that I don't like the Timeless Child. But if you're going to do that, I kind of need you to do something with it. Because if you're not going to do really much of anything with it, or if you're going to abandon whatever it was you were initially planning, then it really had no reason to happen. This was kind of why, like I said, I didn't want Chris Chibnall to immediately undo or retcon or undercut the idea of the Timeless Child. As much as I hate that idea, I want to at least know what it was you intended to do, that you felt that you had to do this thing with the lore and the backstory and the Doctor. But it, with how much else is crammed in here, and basically the only thing that would connect back to the Timeless Child being the Master, maybe it'll get addressed. Maybe it'll be addressed in a very, well, okay, let's wipe our hands of that. Maybe it'll be mostly ignored. I don't know. I am going to want to like this, because I always want to like Doctor Who. And I don't have a lot of confidence in Chibnall as a writer to be able to deliver something that's going to feel like a satisfying conclusion for this era, especially after this trailer where it just feels like everything has been crammed into a space. I'm still going to be hopeful. I don't want to assume it's going to be bad, but I can't look at that and be excited for anything other than the visuals. But like I've said for pretty much this entire era, the show has looked about as good as it ever has during Whittaker's time. The effects have been, for the most part, quite good. The shooting techniques, I thought, have been quite improved and a lot more dynamic and interesting than the fairly standard shooting style that it had before. I've enjoyed the visual presentation, but that can't carry me all the way. And most of what I got off of this trailer was visual presentation, which is the thing I already know has been handled fairly well for this era. I needed reassurance that the writing was going to have focus and was, knew what it was doing. And I don't have that right now. I want it to be good. At the very least, I want it to be satisfying. And I want to feel like Whittaker got to go out on a strong note. I want that. I want that for her. I want that as a fan. I want that. I don't know if I can expect it. Power of the Doctor. Very busy 1-minute trailer. I'm sure some people will go through like frame by frame and completely pull apart everything that's there. We see Vinder again, which makes me very nervous about possible revelations that involve them. I thought we were clear, with him and what's her name? Bella? I can't even remember now. I had a lot of concern about what reveals might be involved in them. They didn't happen in Flux. I thought we were clear. Now we see him again, and so now I'm nervous about what might be implied there if they pull the trigger on the idea that I'll just go ahead and say a potential spoiler, I suppose. If they pull the trigger on the idea that their kid is the Doctor, which is something I saw floated and I would normally discard. But given the other stuff that Chibnall has pulled, I would not put it past him. And if they do that, I would hate it. And again, if that's something that's crammed into a space with everything else going on, if it was ever an idea that was going to work, you're not going to have the time to sell it. Yeah, I'm sure other people will go through like frame by frame, break down everything that's here. But for me, I just felt bombarded with a lot that was not very focused. Maybe the final product will be, but the trailer is not. It's selling spectacle, and I needed it to sell me story. What are your thoughts about this trailer? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon's what pays the bills and allows me to do this as my living. Any amount that you can support me at is greatly appreciated. Even if you can't, like, share, and subscribe, help me out. But, don't worry too much about it. I know I'm nervous about all this, but we do try and take a relaxed attitude around here. So you can just come on back next time you need a break. All right, time to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfullah, Tarak, the thing that goes doink in the anime, Oliver B., Melinda Walters, Emu Delki, Leotha Boyd, Toy Loli, Becky Sparks, Fernobulax, The Poodle, Zach, Bookworm, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperol, Adam R.D.L. Taylor, Shayla Gourlay, Brendan LaRose, and TT. Thank you for your support. If you want to hear me try and say your name while this little guy tries to chew on my earrings, well, you can check out the Patreon for the support tiers that get you a shout out. Thanks so much. You are a pain in my butt.